The movie opens at a lively high school party. Rhoda Williams, a brilliant 17-year-old who just got accepted into MIT, is celebrating with her boyfriend. As the party continues, Rhoda narrates how she fell in love with space science after seeing NASA's images of Jupiter's rapid movement. At that moment, she feels like she can achieve anything. Late at night, still intoxicated, Rhoda drives while listening to the radio. A news report announces the sudden appearance of a new planet, with its own moon, identical to Earth. Scientists are stunned. No one had seen it coming. The radio encourages listeners to look north, where the mysterious planet is clearly visible in the night sky. While driving fast, Rhoda looks out the window, distracted. Nearby, a small family, mother, father, and a young son, sits in a parked car. The boy names his robot Bob, and the family laughs together. We learn the mother is pregnant. But their joy is cut short when Rhoda's car slams into theirs in a horrific crash. Rhoda, dazed and injured but conscious, stumbles out of her car. She approaches the other vehicle and sees the couple unconscious. Turning around, she's horrified to find the young boy lying lifeless on the ground. Sirens wail in the distance as the screen fades to black, showing a distant image of the newly discovered planet. A brief clip shows Rhoda in a jail cell. She's been arrested. 4 years later, Earth 2 is much closer, and now clearly visible from Earth. News reports reveal it's a mirror image of our planet, with identical continents, oceans, even cities. Scientists have sent radio signals and received a reply, though they've been unable to decode it. Some experts believe Earth 2 might not be a planet at all, but rather a cosmic mirror reflecting Earth itself. Now out of prison, Rhoda steps outside for the first time as a free woman. Her parents pick her up. During the drive, her brother mentions a contest funded by a wealthy entrepreneur, Keith Harding, who's sponsoring the first civilian mission to Earth 2. One ticket will be given to the person with the most compelling reason to go. Back home, Rhoda goes to her room, but it no longer feels like her space. She stares out the window, mesmerized by the second Earth glowing in the sky. Curious, she researches the United Space Ventures program her brother mentioned. To win the ticket, she must submit an essay explaining why she wants to go. But as she stares at the blank screen, words don't come. Instead, she gathers her belongings and moves to the attic, calling it her new room. She lays out a simple mattress and decorates the wall with a picture of the night sky. The next day, Rhoda visits an employment office. As a convicted felon, MIT is no longer an option, and other colleges have shut their doors to her. Though the staff suggests a job matching her qualifications, Rhoda insists on something with no interaction, anything that lets her disappear. She lands a janitorial job at her old high school and starts the following day. Surprisingly, she doesn't hate it. Exactly 4 years after the accident, Rhoda visits the intersection where it all happened. As she stands there, a car pulls up nearby. A man steps out. It's the same man she saw in the other car that night. She's stunned. She thought everyone had died. The man places a small robot toy by a pole, clearly in memory of his son, then drives away. Back home, Rhoda searches the accident case online. The man's name is John Burroughs. His wife and son had died in the crash, while he fell into a coma and only recently woke up. He now lives alone and has resigned from his music teaching job at Yale. The next day, Rhoda finds his address and goes to see him. But unsure of what to say, she only watches him from outside, drinking in his cluttered living room. That night, overwhelmed with guilt, Rhoda walks into the snowy cold and slowly undresses, collapsing naked in the snow. Her fingers turn blue from hypothermia as she gazes up at Earth 2. The screen fades to black. In the next scene, Rhoda is in a hospital bed. Someone had found and saved her. Her fingers are injured, but not fatally. Back home, she finally writes the essay for the contest. In it, she argues that madmen, outcasts, and orphans have always been the ones to test new frontiers, not society's privileged elite. As a convicted felon, she believes she's a perfect candidate for this journey. Feeling relieved after submitting her essay, she visits a grocery store to buy candy. There, she unexpectedly meets her high school boyfriend, the one she celebrated with on that fateful night. He shares that he's now in business school and introduces her to his new girlfriend. When Rhoda mentions she's working as a janitor, he responds awkwardly. Embarrassed, Rhoda quietly leaves the store without buying anything. Still burdened by guilt, Rhoda decides she must apologize to John. She visits his house again, but when he opens the door, nerves get the best of her. Instead of telling the truth, she lies, claiming she's a maid from Maid Haven sent for a free trial cleaning service. John, who has been living in a messy, neglected home for months, agrees to Rhoda's offer and lets her clean the place. Caught deep in her lie, Rhoda goes along with it. As she quietly cleans the rooms, John notices her taking interest in a telescope lying around. Before she leaves, he invites her to come again next week. Over the next few days, Rhoda practices ways to tell him the truth. But when she knocks on his door again, anxiety takes over. She says nothing and just cleans. This becomes a routine. She starts visiting every week. Despite the time spent together, John barely speaks to her. One evening, Rhoda and her family watch a live broadcast where a scientist attempts to make contact with Earth 2. The entire world is watching. Shockingly, the voice that responds is her own. The scientist from the other side has the same name, birthday, memories, and job. It confirms the impossible. Earth 2 isn't just a planet. It's a mirror of Earth, with duplicates of every person. This revelation shakes the world. Some celebrate the discovery. Others fall into fear and confusion. Theories begin to swirl. What if we could meet our other selves? What would they be like if they lived a slightly different life? The news leaves Rhoda stunned. That night, she walks outside and stares at the glowing blue planet in the sky. Inside her, a mix of wonder and dread grows. As the days pass, John and Rhoda find a shared love for space and science. He lets her use the telescope, and their connection deepens. They play video games together, laugh, and start building a fragile bond. One night, John offers to drive her home. On the way, they talk about the upcoming expedition to Earth 2. Rhoda admits she submitted an essay for the competition. John, however, is doubtful. He believes mankind isn't ready to accept the idea that they're no longer special, that they're no longer the center of the universe. Tension grows between them when Rhoda, during cleaning, washes a sweater that belonged to John's late wife. He lashes out, tells her to leave, and slams the door. Later, a radio program debates the potential dangers of Earth 2. Some believe that if their counterparts have access to similar technology, including weapons, there could be a serious threat of war between the two planets. Soon after, Rhoda returns home to find John's car outside. He's there to apologize. She forgives him, and he insists on taking her somewhere. He leads her into an empty university auditorium and gives her a private concert, playing an emotional piece of music using a saw. In that quiet moment, their bond deepens. Later, back at his place, their closeness leads to intimacy. They make love, and afterward, John opens up about the accident and how it changed his life. But Rhoda still can't bring herself to tell him the truth. Back home, her brother informs her that someone from the space flight program called. She returns a call, and to her shock, Keith Harding, the wealthy sponsor, personally tells her she's won the essay contest. She's been chosen to travel to Earth 2. Rhoda is overwhelmed. She rushes to John to share the news. At first, he's happy for her, but his joy quickly turns to fear. He doesn't want to lose her. He tells her they have something meaningful now and asks her not to go. Now trapped between love and guilt, Rhoda realizes she can't keep lying. She finally tells him the truth. She's the one who caused the accident. The one who killed his wife and son. John is stunned. He doesn't yell. He doesn't cry. He just sits down on the sofa, in complete silence, and asks her to leave. Back home, Rhoda finds her street flooded with reporters. News of her being chosen for the mission has gone public, and so has her criminal past. Reporters shout questions. Cameras flash. Her father pushes through the chaos and brings her inside. Soon, she receives her official ticket from United Space Ventures. A few days later, Rhoda watches a new scientific broadcast. A physicist explains a groundbreaking theory. Earth 2 mirrored our planet exactly, until the day both planets became aware of each other. That was the turning point. From then on, people's lives may have slightly diverged. Different choices, different outcomes. Rhoda is struck with a new thought. What if her double on Earth 2 didn't cause the accident? What if John's family is still alive over there? With that hope, she rushes to John's house with the ticket in hand. But he doesn't open the door. Desperate, she climbs through a window. When he sees her, grief turns to rage. He grabs her and begins to choke her. They struggle until he lets go. Breathing heavily, she tells him about the theory. She tells him his wife and son might still be alive on Earth 2, that he could have a second chance. She leaves the ticket on the table and walks away. Some time passes. Rhoda begins healing. After confessing to John, the weight she carried starts to lift. Her mental state slowly improves. One day, as the space shuttle prepares for takeoff, Rhoda sees John being interviewed on TV. To her surprise, he took her offer. He's the one going to Earth 2. Months later, Rhoda walks home from work. As she turns a corner, she suddenly freezes. Standing in front of her is herself, her mirror self from Earth 2. The movie ends. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.